Hello everyone, this is the Commander, and in today's video I will be reviewing the final 3 episodes, 6 to 8 of Mandalorian Season 3, and I'll be creating a verdict for the entire season. So starting off with episode 6, this was definitely an interesting episode for sure. We start with some Quarrens. They're talking to Mandalorians, and then we learn that Bo-Katan has assembled a captured fleet, including an Imperial cruiser. And then they land on this. Her and Din land on this planet, and they talk with these the kind of rulers of the planet, but the planet's some kind of democracy, I think. So the rulers are Lizzo and Jack Black, which certainly interesting. That's kind of like they've just been. This has been the Lizzo and Jack Black episode, and that's all it is. So very interesting there how they decided to do that. Then, yeah, so the Bo and Din are hired to fix a battle droid malfunction problem. So battle droids apparently are still being used in the Star Wars galaxy, even at this point, long after the fall of the Separatists. So they meet with the Ugnaughts in the basement, and then there's um, these malfunction droids all over the place. And then there's this droid like party bar, which is pretty interesting, and I like that part. Um, but yeah, it's not that interesting. Nothing of note in this episode. And then the head of security, it's actually a separatist believer, and he is to blame for these malfunctions. And he is tasered by Bo, and the Mandalorians get the job done. So then, while that's going on, other Mandalorians have taken over Bo's fleet. So Bo challenges them, and then they fight, and Bo gets the dark saber back, pretty much. So I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10. Keep in mind, though, I'm quite lenient um with my like grading. So just if every episode is a 9 out of 10, that doesn't mean that the season's gonna be really good. They have to link together well and do a good story. So on episode 7, here we go back to Elia, who is talking with Moff Gideon about the Mandalorians on Navarro. And there's an Imperial meeting where, so yes, Moff Gideon is back. That's what this episode introduces, pretty much. And there's an Imperial meeting which is suggesting the return of Grand Admiral Thrawn, which we will see in Ahsoka. So he's coming back from hyperspace. He was captured by those hyperspace whales with Ezra and Rebels, so we'll see what becomes of that. That'll be very interesting. Personally, that's gonna be my favorite part of this new Star Wars. The whole Rebels coming back. It's the most interesting by far, and yeah, that's a bit of the problem here. We're losing interest for the Mandalorian, and it's going over to the Rebels and the Ahsoka stuff. So then Gideon says that Pershing's work has been lost since its mind was interrogated pretty much, and he suspects that the Mandalorians are trying to retake Mandalore, which is obviously true. So then we go to Navarro, where there's that big Mandalorian cruiser flying over the city, and the Mandalorians are kind of going together all the different uh, tribes, and then Grief Karga enters and shows this IG-12. It's what he calls it. I call it IG Grogu because it's like a mech almost, and Grogu goes inside. It's pretty cool. I like the inclusion of it, and that's great for some comical sequences. And then Bo kind of leads a speech about retaking Mandalore, and then the fleet goes to Mandalore pretty much. And then on to Mandalore, they find some like lost Mandalorians that have been living on the surface, and they kind of just join everyone. And then they go to the forge. They're on this big like pirate ship thingy, and there's some fighting between Paths and Axe Woves, who's like one of the Mandalorian leaders, and Grogu is able to stop it. And then they're attacked by this creature, and they have to abandon the ship to go underground. So then, jetpacked Imperials, they may be Mandalorian, they may not. I think they're a little different than Stormtroopers, but I'm just going to call them Stormtroopers for the time being. Um, attack the Mandalorians, and we learn that the Imperials have been there all along. So Gideon walks out, he's got this Mandalorian helmet, which there's no references, direct references to Maul. Why is he wearing this helmet? It's just the symbol of like the bad guy Mandalorians, or is there a deeper meaning to it? We will see about that. So he is able to capture the Mandalorians, and the Mandalorians try to escape. Pads is surrounded by stormtroopers, a good amount of them, and he defeats a lot of them, but he is killed by the Praetorian guards, which makes sense. These Praetorian guards are more of Praetorian Mandalorian guards. They've got the classic T visor, so we'll see like in the next episode, episode 8, they seem much weaker. So I don't know if they're as powerful as, Snoke's Praetorian guards. Maybe those who are a higher level under Snoke, who's way more powerful than Moff Gideon. So I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. I think this was the best episode yet, and the episode 6 with Lizzo and Jack Black was the worst episode. So episode 8, um, Bo Katan commands the Mandalorian fleet to evacuate. The Imperials are kind of going to destroy it, and it's this big battle with all the Mandalorians coming together. It's pretty cool, although I don't think we get to see enough of it. Dinnett's captured, but he breaks free and fights stormtroopers, and it's helped out by IG Grogu. And then some TIE interceptors are deployed to go ahead and destroy the Mandalorian fleet. Interesting, heavy usage of TIE interceptors here. I don't think we've seen one regular TIE fighter this season, so I find that very interesting. And then Gideon has tracked Din, and this is where there's a whole debate, and I'll talk about it here later. And he goes to, go ahead and like kill him, and then it's trying to go towards the command center, and he has the help of R5. Then that Mandalorian cruiser is evacuated, and Axe Woves pilots it. And he's like the ship's going down in flames and it's crashing towards the surface. It's a pretty cool scene. And then Din fights Imperials by these shields, and he reaches Gideon's clone lab, where we learn that Gideon is actually trying to clone himself. And I actually kind of thought about this a little earlier in the episode. They said something about where Grogu and Mandalorian. They said like then Grogu and Din rather, that they're not gonna keep running away because Gideon's gonna keep being around. But I'm like, well, he is pretty old. He's at least 60 years old. We don't know too much about lifespans in Star Wars. Is it that much longer? But as far as what we've seen, it's not like some extended lifespan. So it makes sense. Then I thought, oh, maybe he's trying to clone himself like Palpatine, and that is exactly what's happening here. The clones were destroyed, but we'll see if there's some secondary plan that Gideon had, and it's the real Gideon even there. And then Mandalorian reinforcements arrived with the armor and a pretty cool scene as well. Bo wields the dark saber. I just feel like we didn't get quite as much. It just lost a little bit of the impact. It's cool, but like it still just lost some impact, and I feel like the, you don't feel as much that the Mandalorians are back and retaking Mandalore. So that's what I hope they do in season 4, that they really go into more of what these Mandalorians are doing, and what they're doing around the galaxy now that they're back at the power in the galaxy. You know, it's pretty big. So then Din enters the command center and he fights with Gideon, who's assisted by the Praetorians. And yeah, Din's not doing great versus Gideon, and then Grogu fights the Praetorians, and this is where it's like too easy. They defeat the Praetorians somewhat easily, and Bo helps out as well, and she fights Gideon, but Gideon destroys the Darksaber, which is very interesting. So that we'll see what they do there. I feel like not enough people have been talking about how big this is. That the Darksaber is destroyed. Will they make a new one? Because the Darksaber is one of the most like popular ancient relics in Star Wars, and he did destroy it pretty easily, maybe too easily. But you know, he seems to be somewhat powerful. So then, also at this time, the burning Mandalorian cruiser with Axe Wolves crashes into the Mandalorian area, and then and that Axe Wolves flies out of the cruiser, and that cruiser causes a big fire, and it kills Gideon, or at least that version of Gideon. And Grogu helps protect Din and Bo, and they are saved. So then later on, we have a ceremony of some sort for Pat's son. Pat's obviously died, but they really do not recognize that. And then the armor says that Grogu is too young to be an apprentice, but Din adopts Grogu to kind of find a workaround for this, and the armor agrees. And then the Grogu actually looks at the mythosaur in that pond below, so this is maybe hinting for that Grogu will ride the mythosaur. It is very surprising though that Bo hasn't ridden the mythosaur yet, so that didn't make sense to me. I feel like she's the one to do it. She knows where it is. It's right there. She can just do it now. That's how it should work. I don't know what's going on with that. That you need the dark saber, which is destroyed, and then Din goes to the rebel base on that one tropical planet where he meets with Carson Tiva, and he wants to work independently, kind of as like a contractor on a case by case basis for the New Republic in the Outer Rim, and he wants this IG droid head that they have there. So then back onto Navarro, Karga gives Din a nice cabin outside town, and IG-11 is back again in that Navarro town, and thanks to that droid that Din got. So yeah, then it ends with Din and Grogu just chilling in their cabin, not much happening. So yeah, they could certainly end it here, but I don't think they are. I think they already said that they're doing the season 4. I give the last episode a 9 out of 10, by the way. Um, so yeah, this season was a bit choppy. It had its moments for sure, but it kind of lost some momentum in a few episodes. I wouldn't necessarily call them filler episodes, except for maybe episode 6, but it just wasn't the best. I'm starting to get a little worried here about what John Favreau and Filoni, what they did here, because yeah, I hope this isn't an indicator for future shows. It's not like anything that's gonna ruin Star Wars canon necessarily, but you know, it just wasn't that great as people thought it would be. And yeah, so looking at a few things going on, I really hope that Gideon is dead. He's been around for 3 seasons now, and I think it was his time to die. I hope that's the real version. This mustache theory that people have been talking about, that Gideon there didn't have a mustache and the real one did. You can shave a mustache. Has anyone ever heard of that? So, yeah, that's kind of not the best theory in my opinion. I hope that was the real Gideon and the Gideon instead. Although it is concerning that he let those clones be destroyed so easily. Um, and then as far as what they're gonna do for season 4, I know it's that calm, peaceful ending, no post-credit scene. but I think they still have some ways to go. They already said that Din and Grogu are gonna work with the um the New Republic a little bit, so that could have some opportunities. Maybe they'll, and then the Mandalorians. You still got to deal with Bo-Katan and if she's gonna ride the Mythosaur. So I'm surprised they haven't announced a new show called like something else, just to do Bo-Katan and her whole story on Mandalorian, seeing whether they're gonna build a city there or what, because that will be very interesting, and I hope they don't just leave that open ended like they have so far. So, um, yeah, this is fun. I'm not like excited for Mandalorian season 4 now at this point, so I'd say I'm definitely most excited for the Ahsoka show, and I'll do some reviews for that as well. I've got a Bad Batch review that'll be coming out alongside this, so please make sure to subscribe and like. And this is the Commander signing out.